Morning, people. We're talking about persecution. Matthew chapter 5 tells us all about it. It says we will be persecuted for righteousness' sake. The world hates righteousness. They don't hate you. They just hate the righteousness that you stand for. So as much as we do the best we can to emulate and imitate Christ, we must know that in an imperfect, messed up, sinful, devil-driven world, we are going to suffer persecution. Now, I want to talk about the end of the passage. It says two responses to this. The first one we said last week was that we can head for the hills, we can run. But the second response is intriguing. It's so counterintuitive. The Bible says we should rejoice in the face of persecution. Rejoice when people persecute you. Rejoice when people insult you. Rejoice when people give you a bad time for righteousness' sake. If they're giving you a bad time because you've acted badly, then you better suck it up and sort yourself out. But if you're being persecuted for righteousness' sake, he says rejoice. Now, why should we rejoice? I've got one reason today and one reason for tomorrow. The first reason that we should rejoice is because the prophets had to be persecuted before us. So Jesus was persecuted. The prophets were persecuted. The martyrs have been persecuted and still are being persecuted. So I'm going to tell you people, when we are being persecuted, we're in great company. We're in the company of the great heroes of the faith. We're in the company of those who have nailed their flag to the mast and said, no turning back. You can do what you like. I choose to follow Christ. And when we do that, we're in the best company in the world. We're in the company of the John the Baptist. We're in the company of the Stephens. We're in the company of some of the amazing martyrs of years gone by. And we hang out with those guys. You know, the other day we read that passage about the Great Tribulation and the martyrs. Man, I want to be associated with them, don't you? So when we suffer persecution, large or small, and we respond well with rejoicing to say, wow, God, I'm not rejoicing because I'm enjoying the pain. I'm rejoicing because I'm standing with those who have stood before. I'm standing with the martyrs. I'm standing with those who have suffered persecution. And when we stand like that in the face of persecution, we get the applause of heaven. And that beautiful verse in Hebrews that talks about the cloud of witnesses. These are those who have gone before us, and they're in heaven. And I get this picture in my wild imagination to say they look down upon us, and when they see us run, they hide their faces in embarrassment. When they see us run because of the slightest persecution, there's no applause there. But when they see you standing in the face of persecution, you young people at school, when you stand in the face of the bullies and those who mess you up on social media because you're a believer, you know, when you stand with that, the heavens are applauding you. When you businessmen stand and nail your flag to the mast, when you husbands and wives are standing in the face of persecution from community around you, when we as a church stand in the face of persecution that is going to come, Jesus told us to expect it, but we stand in the face of it, we have the cloud of witnesses, those who have gone before saying, watch them, and they applaud you for what you are doing in the face of that which is persecution type. Don't you want that? I certainly do. I wanted my name to be numbered amongst those greats, not because of my ego, but because I want to be associated with them, and I sure hope that you do too, because that's what our faith is all about. Man, that just encourages me. That'll put a smile on my face to see John the Baptist say, way to go, Trevor. Way to go, Norwegian Settlers Church. Way to go, Genesis. Despite the persecution that you're going to have, and people are going to misunderstand you, misinterpret you, and they're going to say all manner of evil against you, don't worry about it. They did it to the prophets before you. They're still going to do it to you, but just rejoice in the fact that you are God's chosen people. Let's rejoice in the face of persecution. And when those who persecute you see you doing that, you know, they'll take notice. How does this happen? Where do these people come from? How do they behave like that? And that witness can be so powerful to the world around us. So let's rejoice, not a stupid little cynical smile, but let's rejoice in our hearts that we're identified with Christ, we're identified with the saints that have gone before, and they applaud us from heaven today. That's a great thought, man. I'm going to be thinking about that today. I hope you are too. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.